Hey, well, welcome to the weekly, question and answer, live hypnosis question and answer. I'd like to just welcome anyone who is here to propose any sort of questions. I do sort of have a format. Okay, so if you're new to this, you don't know that I try and hold this every week. You may not even know who I am. I am David Barron. You probably don't know I've been doing hypnosis for 20 years. I've have 2 hypnosis practices that I work from, and I have guessed maybe about 10,000 people I have worked with over the course of 20 years. So I have some experience, and some would say a lot of experience with hypnosis. What I'm here to do is basically make this wide open as far as questioning. So if you have any questions, comments, anything that you want to ask, please post it in the comments. I will address it as they come up. A couple things that I do want to sort of cover here are some questions that have come up recently to me and some things I just want to let you know about. First of all, one of the things I want you to notice is I have for the very longest time had a website. I've had a website called University of Hypnotism, and it is still out there, universityofhypnotism.com. And if you just take a look at it, it has a coming soon page. I've had this website for like 3 years, and all it's been has been coming soon. I am sort of looking at how to sort of exploit it. Oh, you're gonna bear with me. I've got to scratch my nose. Oh. Felt like a spider was crawling up my nose, so let's hope that's gone. So University of Hypnotism, I'll even provide you the link here so you can take a look at the coming soon page. I would love to have your insights as to what you think we should be doing with that. It is the hope was to have an online study of hypnosis, and I think I can still do something like that, but I haven't really fleshed it out. I love your feedback. So if you have any questions or comments about what we could use the University of Hypnotism site for, I am wide open for it. Now, the other thing, what you probably already know about is my website, Mind Control Publishing. Mind Control Publishing I've had for quite a few years. It is a very active website. And what I wanted to be able to do with Mind Control Publishing is to basically just continue to grow it. And I've asked this in emails, I put it online here, and I still am very eager to find out what your thoughts about the website are. There is, hang on just a second. There we go. I am copying a link here. Well, sort of copying a link, but I want to share this with you. Let's see. If you have worked with me on Mind Control Publishing, had any sort of interaction with me at all, and that means good or bad, I would be very eager to have you just post review on Google. I don't expect glowing reviews. I would love to have some honest ones. It does help Google sort of sort through and help people find me. And again, just be honest about your experience with, and even if it's a 1-star, I don't care. Just share your experience here. Now, you may also notice that I have a different background than normal. I usually have a black cloth background, and I was going to rush to set it back up, and I realized, hey, let's mix it up. Maybe people like the light background better than the black background. If you are a regular viewer of this live cast, let me know. Let me know what you think. If you prefer one or the other, I'd love to hear about it. And as you know, and as I mentioned often, I do try to make this happen every week. I want to give everyone a heads up that Saturdays coming up next month are going to be a little bit different. I may be rescheduling the times and the dates of these live Q&As, so just be aware of it. There's some public events I'm going to be doing on Saturday that are for my hypnosis practice, and I'll talk about them more if you're at all interested. So anyway, I just give everyone a heads up. Now I want to talk about some of the questions that I have gotten here, and actually I think they're pretty awesome questions. So there we go. All right. This was an email. It was sent to me by one of the people on the, it is a private email, so I'm not going to share the name. But he asked a pretty good question. It seems like it might be a very simple question, but it is much more important than you might think. And I'm going to read it verbatim. I think English is his second language, but it's understandable enough. Do you know of any book, method, exercise, ritual, practices, ideas about how to keep mouth shut, silent, closed to keep secrets, a secret inside, and not exposing them to anything, no matter what happened? How do the secret societies and organizations like Freemasons keep secrets and remain silent, keeping their mouth shut? What exercises do they do to achieve such control of keeping their mouth shut and remaining silent? Do you have any books on this topic? Do you have also research on this topic on how to write about? So he gives an example from his life. From my own life experience, I have observed still, calm, silent, mouth shut to keep silent situations creates a kind of charge, a power inside. He's speaking very truthfully here. If the secret is leaked out, then the charge, the power is also leaked, decreasing as if a bubble is burst. Okay, I'm going to just stop right there. Again, I'm not entirely certain of the intent. Maybe he's asking about how secret societies like the Freemasons keep their secrets. Well, let's be honest about this. The Freemasons, for example, and I'm familiar with Freemasons. They are not so much a secret society. They are a closed society that have some secrets. But the secrets, honestly, you go on the internet, you can find pretty much everything that is about Freemasonry. It's not particularly a secret. What Freemasonry does provide is a structure in which you have to go through a system to have certain experiences. And those experiences are themselves personal, they're rituals, and they're asking you to keep this sacred. In other words, to hold a secret. So that's just a clarification as far as Freemasonry goes. Again, they're not entirely, totally secret. They are simply a closed, tight-knit sort of culture that have rituals that they consider very sacred, and they encourage you not to talk about them. But let's go back to his initial question, which is, are there rituals, practices, ideas about how to keep your mouth shut and silent? Let's start with what he observed, which is, in my experience, absolutely true. When you hold a secret, when you, for example, if you set a plan, if you have a goal in mind, and it is maybe a grand, positive, really wonderful goal, and you hold it secret, what tends to happen is every time you speak of it, you start to leak away some of that energy, just like he says. It's like because you've shared it, you don't have to work on it quite as hard. And this is a very interesting sort of process, and not really. This has been studied. If you, like for example, if you decide to go on a diet, or you know someone who's going on a diet, and they want to, they share it with somebody, there's pretty much it's less likely it's ever going to happen. And I find that in itself fascinating. That just like you said, when you start to excuse me for just a second, I'm distracted. Whenever you really say something about a secret, it does give out a bit of its energy. So now he asks some questions about how you can strengthen that. Well, there are some really good exercises that anyone can do to sort of strengthen that ability to keep silent. And that is, first and foremost, decide what you're going to keep secret. One of the things, this sounds a little weird, but it can have a lot of strength, which is if you are in like a secret society, and you don't even have to be within a secret society, you could give yourself a secret name that becomes for you sacred. It is the name, for example, of your soul. And so you would address your soul. Now first of all, you don't even tell people you have this secret name. That keeps it secret altogether. It's a ridiculous idea no one would even conceive of. So as long as you don't share it, it is secret. And just having that and making it personal will give you some strength. So decide on what kind of secret you want to keep. And there are other exercises to do. This has a lot to do with just simple discipline. If you set aside tasks, very specific tasks to do that could even be arbitrary, and you do them, you give yourself strength. You give yourself some foundation. Consider that your ability to influence is really only as strong as your ability to actually make something happen. And if you decide that for whatever reason, you're going to sit down every day and write 1,500 words toward a book, and you just do it, the words may be crap, that's fine, but you put your effort into it, and every time you write 1,500 words, you build a strength within you. In fact, there was I forget the name of the poet, but he decided that in order for him to master poetry, he would write what in his mind, what was he considered an epic poem. We're talking a huge, long poem. And he did it. And in retrospect, it was in a style that he actually didn't even like, but he learned so much from the simple effort of doing it. So consider putting aside very specific tasks that are challenging, but within your ability, but really push the edge of your ability, and just do them. With regard to keeping secrets, there are people who pick a day of the week to not talk. And I have done this. I actually did too much lying and bullshitting one day, just for some crazy reason. I don't even remember the context. I didn't feel good about myself, and I felt that, okay, in order to make up for the fact that I was BSing too many people this one day, I'm just going to not talk. And I didn't. I had friends. I was living with some people at the time. I would just write notes. I'd say, I'm not talking. And we would still socialize, be together, but they knew this strange guy, David, he's not talking for now. I don't know why. We'll find out later, maybe when he talks. But it felt really good. It gave me a sense of calm, a sense of strength. and also a sense of discipline. Again, pick something that you can do, that you will do no matter what, no matter how insignificant it is. That's why a lot of people say just even making your bed, if you decide to do it, and do it every day, you have accomplished something that has some meaning and some importance. I hope that answered your question. So it's something you will never master. Just know that don't even expect to master it. In fact, expect to always be practicing it. You will get better at it and better at it. And I think there are people who master this so well that when they speak, what they say just happens. It's considered somewhat of a magical quality that they speak only what is true, and when they say something, strange things just automatically happen. What they say is going to happen just happens. So consider that maybe the something you might want to try to achieve. Also, let's see, I had a question from Miko, and Miko, again, thank you very much for posing this question, which is, when is the symbology process best used? Let me see if I have. Let me describe the symbology process. First of all, if you go to Mind Control Publishing, you will find that it is a product, a DVD product that Jeff Stevens have created. You will find that the symbology process, you can find it on YouTube. So I know I'm talking myself out of some really good sales here, but you could find a lot of information about the symbology process also on YouTube. Feel free to check it out there as well. Oh, hey, Keith Anthony, it's a pleasure. So if you, the symbology process is designed to take one emotional response that is not working and change it into something that has more resources to it. So I use it, I find it, as long as you have a problem state and a solution state, you could pretty much adapt anything to the symbology process. Example, if I am working with a smoker, I start with the problem state, which is a craving, a want for a cigarette. And I describe the problem state as simply the problem of smoking. We talk about the craving, we talk about the whole idea. So they create a symbol for the problem of smoking. And then I ask them, what would you rather be feeling? And this is sometimes the most challenging part. You know, people come with a problem, but what they want is they want a solution. They just don't know what that solution is yet. They just don't want to have the problem. So I say, okay, what do you want? And they will say, I don't want to smoke. And I go, I know you don't want to smoke. What do you want? And they say, well, I don't want to smoke cigarettes. And I said, I know you don't want to smoke cigarettes. What do you want instead? And eventually we go through this and it gets through their head finally. They realize, okay, I guess what I really want is I want to feel peace of mind. I want to feel satisfaction. I want to feel self-respect. And if I were a non-smoker, those would be the best feelings to have. So I have now their solution state. So the symbology process works very, very easily for that. It works incredibly well for post-traumatic stress because the problem state is obvious. What is the problem state? Well, it's this panic. It's this anxiety. It's the result of post-traumatic stress. What would you rather be feeling? Well, once they nail it down, it's something like maybe peace of mind, acceptance, love, something like that. Anytime you can divide or anytime you can single out the problem state and the solution state, you can use the symbology process. That's my experience. And there are even things that if you even want to augment, make even better a solution state, you can use the symbology process. I have used the symbology process as even a deepener. If someone has gone through at least a couple of hypnosis sessions, I will ask them to create a symbol for all of their knowledge and their experience of hypnosis. And so they have a symbol of all of their experience of hypnosis. I ask them to change the symbol so it becomes the most profound they could ever possibly experience. And now I've used the symbology, and then we go through the symbology process that way. So I hope that, again, I'm not fully describing the symbology process. If you want me to, go ahead and post a question. I could do it sometime in the future. But like I said, you will find a lot of that on YouTube. And also you can buy a very thorough, a very detailed description of symbology process from Mind Control Publishing. So is there anything else here? Well, you know, my goal here is to spend up to an hour of answering questions. Right now, let's see, I don't see any additional questions, which is fine. Most of the questions I do find online, either through emails or through the Advanced Hypnosis Skills Facebook page. If you do have any questions, anything you wish me to comment on, please let me know. And also, you know, again, let me know what you think about the light background as opposed to the background. I'd like to know if you have a preference. Anyway, I'm going to take off now. Please post your questions. Doesn't have to be here live, but I will be here next week, this time, to answer any questions that might have come up during the week. I'm David Barron, and because you're here, you're not somewhere else. And so you spent some time being here. I really appreciate the sacrifice you did to be here. I want you to take care. We'll talk next week. Bye.